in the pocket quicker than we thought we were going to be in the pocket, but we're in the pocket, man. Yeah,
Hey,
I am
board, the board will jump on you like that.
The board will jump on you. Yeah.
You just got sacked.
Just got sacked. and right now, I got sacked, but I can't hear the play coming in the helmet. So, so it feels like I'm delayed. But, yes, in the pocket with Covell, Hudson. We have in studio
Michael Darcy.
And we have setting me up back there.
Don't nobody need to know my name?
Yeah. He's the great player on the game that you have to, beat the guys before you get there. The great player. That's who he is. That's me. But yeah, it's quite the dismount. Let's land this thing. All right. So today we are going to talk about some Chiefs. I don't know if you guys heard the Chris Canty comments, about Patrick Mahomes. We will discuss that. We will discuss Chiefs news. It's not a whole bunch, but we're going to talk about them a little bit. We're going to poke it. The Dolphins and Steelers made a trade, and that made people hot to trot about Tyreek Hill potentially coming back because Dolphins are kind of selling stuff. And we're going to talk some NFL news. And let's talk about the stadium a little bit. I don't know if you guys are well read in that situation. I know it's a whole bunch of suits trying to make things happen. But we would discuss that a little bit. We're going to do some ITPOOPS. And if you're new to the program, ITPOOPS stands for in the pocket or out of pocket. And then we'll talk some NBA free agency. There's a lot of stuff going on there. And we're talking about the Royals to wrap it up. But you know what? We're going to talk about the Royals first. They kind of stink, right?
I would say that, yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it, but butt cheeks is a word that some people would use. I'm not saying it. I don't.
Oh, no. They definitely butt cheeks.
They're butt cheeks.
They have been god-awful in the month of June. They had 2 separate 6-game losing streaks. They were at a point where they had their last series against the Dodgers. They lost 2 out of 3. The fact they even got one of them, miracle.
Yeah.
They only won, I believe, 1 home game in the month of June.
Yeah. No, this is I guess this is about the time of year when we usually say same old Royals.
Well, it's so frustrating because
it hurts. I hear it in you. It hurts.
It's sadness. It's sadness. And they couldn't even get us to football season. Last year the Royals did a fantastic job of having an entertaining summer. They were in the playoff hunt. They got us, through the dog days of summer. But now we're at a point where right now they're 39-46. The wild card hopes are starting to dwindle. I mean, now they're
starting to dwindle.
Yes.
So explain to me starting to dwindle as opposed to dwindling.
Well, they're still in the hunt for a wild card spot. The division is out of reach right now. They are 14 games back of the Detroit Tigers, who are 53-32. They've also, the Royals have lost their last 2, but if we look at their last 10 games, it's not so great. Let me go ahead and pull that up really quickly.
Butt cheeks.
They lost to the Mariners last night. They lost to the Dodgers. They beat the Dodgers 9-5 in an outlier game. Then they lost, 6 games in a row. So they are 1-7 in their last 8.
Yeah. And no, they've been woeful offensively.
Woeful offensively.
All that. I've
put that on a shirt.
Put that on a T-shirt. Yes. The Royals are averaging 3.29 runs per game, worse than every other team except the Pirates. They have already been shut out 8 times this year, matching their total for all last season. The Royals are currently averaging only 3.2 runs a game, nearly half a run worse than their all-time worst in 1969.
This is the worst offense in baseball. And this
no,
they are
barely in front of the Pirates.
I will argue they can. The Pirates suck. The Pirates are not a pro baseball team. Like they've basically conceded that right. They're a AAA team playing at the major league level. The Royals were a team coming into this season that had hopes of going to the playoffs, maybe even winning their division.
I remember that.
And it is July 1st, ladies and gentlemen.
It's been 84 years.
And they're already out of it. This team, somehow, some way, made the playoffs last year off of the backs of a fantastic rotation, and Bobby Witt Jr. had the best season a shortstop has had since A-Rod. You had a great season from Vinny Pasquantino and Salvador Perez, who, by the way, maybe this shouldn't be said, Salvador Perez, a hefty lad this year. He has put on some big boy weight, and it's not helping him hit the baseball. He's having the worst season of his career.
You know, like
Tacos are good now.
you know, like
he's eating too much of everything.
You know, I'm a comedian at heart, so you say he's a hefty lad. Like, that is very hilarious and accurate because, you know, lad, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. But no, he's picked up a few LBs.
A few?
No, yeah,
he is listed at 256. There is no chance he is under 300 pounds.
Yeah, but
he is large.
He's been in Kansas City since he's been like 8.
Here's the thing:
barbecue tastes good.
You can see over his career, he gets heavier and heavier and heavier. And like last year, didn't really matter because he was mashing the baseball. This year, it looks like all of that weight that he's gained because he gained weight over the offseason.
Yeah,
he's slower. His bat speed's slower. He can't hit the baseball like he did last year, and he's also getting older.
He's like the old dude that goes and plays with the young guys in softball. He think he still got it. That's what he looks like on the field. Like, but last year
256. All right. Okay.
But last year, like I said, the rotation was solid. Even the closers played
great.
Pretty good. Yeah, like we thought we had, and then they added. No, we got Boobage back, and like there's nothing better than some Boobage. But like he, but he's
been a Cy Young candidate this year. He's been fantastic.
Well, yeah, but everybody else is awful.
Well, the issue is not the pitching staff. The pitching staff has been fantastic. Now, you had Cole Reagans and Seth Lugo go down with injuries. Lugo's back, and he's pitching great. He's going to get traded, but he's pitching great. But the issue is...
Wait, they're going to trade Lugo?
They absolutely should. Right now, I mean, the Royals are at a point where he's a free agent, or I guess he's not a free agent after this season, but he has a player option.
Yeah.
And he's not going to opt in because he's going to make a lot more money in free agency.
It would make no sense to opt in.
And so the Royals would be smart to trade him now while his value is the highest. And it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that if the Royals don't turn it around and turn it around quick, Seth Lugo is going to be gone in a month.
Well, but that's the thing. Turn it around quick. When the Chiefs' offense is sputtering, we can harken back to the 2018 to 2022 and say when we had a high-powered offense. We can say, hey, we have the best quarterback, so we have hope. But, like, there's nothing to hang your hat on and say that they're just going to be better. You know what I'm saying?
The sample size in baseball is just way too much. Like, anyone out there that is optimistic the Royals offense can turn it around, I don't know what baseball you've been watching over the past 3 months.
Yeah.
They're not going to magically turn into a good offense. I think if anything, this season has shown you that last year when they made the playoffs, that was the outlier. That was the exception. This is not a good baseball team. Like, if you just watch the Royals in 2025, they can't hit the baseball. They can't hit the baseball with runners in scoring position. They can't play defense. They can't run the bases. There is no part of this team outside of the pitching staff, and that's the starting rotation. The bullpen's been brutal as of late.
Yes.
Outside of the starters, you can't play baseball.
Yeah, and what I love is because we used to have Kyle, and Kyle used to love the Royals. So I love the passion because, like, when they're bad, I don't feel it in my soul, but you feel it in your soul.
Here's the thing. The Royals have beaten me down over many years of being bad. Yeah. The issue is we came into this season with hope, which is the worst thing possible. We came into the season with hope of a playoff berth.
Audacity of hope. Y'all had the audacity of hope.
And they're stomping on my heart right now.
Yes, they are. Hey, Jay, let's open up the phone line, see if anybody wants to trash the Royals.
Phone lines are open.
All right. So yes, if you I don't know which one it is, but yes, if you would like to call in and say how you feel about the Royals, 913-3-810-810.
Which maybe there's some optimists out there, and I hope that there are. Like right now, I'm looking at the wild card standings. The Royals are 5.5 games back, and teams like the Rays, who came into your house and swept you, the Blue Jays, they're both 2.5 games up in the standings. The Mariners, the team that you're playing right now, you're playing them tonight. They're 44-40. They hold the final spot. You're going to have to do a lot of, ground making up. And I think they're probably going to lose this series to the Mariners. Just being real.
Well, most likely. Like, there's probably a 75% chance that they lose this series.
And the problem is that it just feels like if the Royals get down by a run, I mean, a run might even be game. Like, if the Royals are down by a run, you're probably going to lose the baseball game.
You know what it feels like? It feels like when the Chiefs had Alex Smith and the team scored a touchdown, and it was the second quarter. You were like, we're out of this thing. Don't you remember those days?
Oh, yeah.
Even before, well.
This is much more painful to watch, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, because, well, you know, last year, I said it while they were winning, and then as they lost, you know, I kept asking the guys questions, especially Royals guy. Who was the MVP this season? Everybody said Bobby Witt. You know, like, the MVP was the new stadium that they were trying to get built. Because they made a lot of moves to win last year to try to get that bill passed. And and it didn't work. And they banked on everybody getting better. And I don't know why, because everybody just kind of went back to what their average is.
The issue is they did really bank on the offense kind of staying the same. When last year, if you just look at the numbers, like their hitting with runners in scoring position was insane, like at a higher rate than I think normal.
It was almost like 2015. It was fun.
It was awesome to watch. But it took a lot of things going incredibly right. Like the pitching staff, I think pitched like almost 200 innings collectively at the starting rotation without any injuries. Like that's unheard of. And you saw this season, guys like Reagans and Lugo both got hurt, and we just got to July. And so it kind of was a perfect storm, and it's been just a storm this year.
Yeah. Well, it's the perfect storm. Bad bullpen, bad bats, bad defense, bad
base running. I mean, the base running being bad is just absurd. You got guys getting picked off, and the issue is guys are taking off and trying to steal bases because the offense is so bad. They need to put runners in scoring position. They have no other choice.
If they put runners in scoring position, they automatically shut down. They don't know how to hit the ball. That's just how it's been.
Yeah, and so for all the diehard Royals fan, I feel sorry for you. I dealt with it with the Chiefs for most of my life until before 8 years ago.
I mean, even Alex Smith was taking the team to the playoffs. Now, they weren't winning, but right now
but that was worse because it felt – you remember like when we lost to the Colts?
Oh, yeah.
When we lost to the Colts.
Which time?
Yeah, which time? Like, what? It was two of them. But the one where – was it Andrew Luck caught a batted pass?
No, that was Marcus Mariota from the Titans.
Oh, that was Titans. Well, see, I get them mixed up. So
the Colts game was on the road in Indy, and they came back from a just giant deficit.
That's the one where I almost cried as a grown man because the Chiefs lost, and I had a Broncos fan in there talking stuff the whole time. And then when they, like took the lead, and he was like in my ear, I went home. So yeah,
I don't blame you.
Yeah, so is that how you feel about the Royals stinking up the joint? But you kind of expected them to not be that good.
Listen, baseball is so hit or miss, no pun intended. It's just one of those things that one year you can be really good, and then one year you can kind of fall off a little bit. And I just think that the Royals being the Royals have been inconsistent for their entire franchise's history. Like the years that they have made the playoffs, those are the outliers. They made the playoffs not that many times in their franchise's history.
George Brett's a legend for that year.
Well, they were good back in the 80s and the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah.
But then, we kind of had the dark ages, and then 2014, 2015 happened, and then they went back to being a laughing stock until last year when we thought we kind of turned the tides, and then it seems like we're kind of right back into mediocrity.
Do we need a new hitting coach or just an overall overhaul of everybody?
Ooh, is it too early to say overhaul?
It is way too much time has passed with the Royals hitting coach still being employed.
Well, okay.
I'll say that right now. Alex Zumwalt, the Royals hitting coach, he needs to go. The approach has not been there at the plate. You see batters not really knowing what to do up there. And I think there might be something to be said that it's an organizational approach. Like our farm system, the bats aren't good either. Like if you look at Double-A right now, Gavin Cross is stinking it up. And he was the guy that you drafted in the first round. Yeah. I mean, he was the safest college bat. I mean, they don't really exist. But he's not going to probably be a very good major leaguer if he makes it.
Did that 2015 World Series run deplete our minor league stock forever. That's
No, I mean that was over a decade ago.
Yes,
yeah,
and
it
no.
was, but we had to.
I mean, if you really want to know why the Royals farm system sucks, you got to blame Dayton Moore. Dayton Moore went on a disaster class of drafts after. It was really, I think it was in the middle of the World Series runs.
Yeah.
I can't remember what year they drafted Christian Colon, but it was the year after that they started drafting guys like Hunter Dozier and just guys like Bubba Starling that have no business being a first round. Where's Hunter Dozier in the year of our Lord 2025?
That is a good question.
Not playing baseball.
Well, hey,
Maybe coaching T-ball. I don't know.
it's hit or miss. They got hot. They got a few good guys. They got a lot of guys when they were young and trained them up. But yeah, I guess when did Dayton Moore leave?
Well, he was fired in 2022, I believe. The last draft that he had was Gavin Cross, and Gavin Cross is currently in Double-A and hitting a measly like 200 something. So, like Dayton Moore would draft guys for the most part based on the kind of person they were, not the kind of baseball player that they were. Which, like, there's something to admire about drafting guys that are good people. But guess what? The Royals were losing 100 games in back-to-back seasons.
So you're saying we're not running a Christian college?
I'll tell you what. The Chiefs had some character concerns, and we're winning a lot more championships.
Hey, nobody's been arrested
Yet.
Yeah,
boy.
You beat. Yeah,
I'm saying the night is still young. Is that what you're saying?
Listen, it's July 1st in 2025, baby. We haven't had. We actually, to kind of segue a little bit, this has been a pretty quiet Chiefs offseason.
No, yeah, like it hasn't been much to talk about, and that's what I enjoy.
And I'll tell you what, last year with the whole Rashee Rice incident in Dallas, it was a little
Yes.
bit loud. And I mean, yeah.
You remember when we first got the news, and they was like, it's probably, they suspected to be Rashee Rice, and I'm like, how y'all know? There ain't no, how you know it's damn Rashee Rice? Then I see the video
Of him
of
fleeing
him
the
walking,
scene. Yeah.
fleeing the scene slowly.
Not covering his face or anything like that.
No, not none of that. I'm trying to think, what would have they could have had something. So I'm like, if he would have stayed, then maybe that would. But like, nah. Yeah,
That's legal stuff. Who knows?
yeah, I know. Legal mumbo.
I'll tell you what, though. As of right now, there isn't a criminal court case set yet or a criminal court date set yet.
Yeah.
And the NFL is not going to suspend him
They'll
until
give
the
him a few
legal
games.
proceedings are done.
Okay, yeah. But even if it gets dismissed or he settles out of court
I don't think he gets suspended to start 2025.
to start 2025,
I think if it happens, it's going to happen
yeah,
middle of the year.
we would have been hearing about the court cases. Yeah, it's weird how that works. That's
So
weird.
I think it's probably safe to assume that unless something pops up in the month of July, he's probably going to be able to start week 1.
yeah, and he probably won't get Justin Tucker with 10 games. Probably like 4 to 6.
I kind of forget. Yeah, he got suspended.
Yes, he did. He did. But we talked about the Royals for 20 minutes. That wasn't the plan at all. But we're gonna go ahead and take a break, and then we're gonna get into this Chris Canty quote. Were you about to say something, Jay?
I was gonna say, I've never seen him happier than to talk Royals.
No, he comes alive.
Yeah, he got animated.
Yes.
I mean, I don't want to tell everybody, but he did come out the chair like 3 or 4 times.
Well, but that's like Kyle. Kyle's mild mannered. Kyle's chill. He's pretty like the same guy. But talking about the Royals,
I'll tell you what, we have it so easy here in Kansas City where we talk about the Chiefs, a dynasty, a perennial all-time great football team that we get to watch on a weekly basis. And then on the other side of the parking lot, on
We
the
got
other
a
side of
minor league
the
baseball
Truman
team.
Sports Complex, we got to watch this every night.
well, that's why they're trying to ship him out to Kansas.
That's next.
We'll be back after this. We are back in the pocket. 810 WHB Sports Radio 810. Sports Radio 810. It almost came out smooth. I have Michael Darcy and Jay Powers. I know you didn't want to say your name, but I said it.
Now people are going to know where I live because of that.
Nah,
They're going to
nobody
follow
cares.
me home.
They do now.
All right, so just how would you grade? Just in a, what's your letter grade for Patrick Mahomes' season last season?
B-.
I'd give him a B.
You wouldn't give him an A
No, I mean it's
for what he dealt with.
It's. I was gonna say, like, what are we grading? Like, what is the criteria for the grade?
Well, I think because people lose objectiveness. You know, when somebody's great, when you're doing things and you're light skinned, people lose objectiveness. You know what I mean?
Because he also made the Super Bowl.
Well, see, but yeah, that's why I say, you know, like, what's the grade? Because people be like, he had average numbers, so he's a C.
Okay, yeah. If you look at it like this.
I had a point, but go ahead, Jay.
Well, he didn't have a Mahomes year. He had an average year. Okay, so he gets that C. What got him up to a B- was he actually kind of did a great job with the really crappy hand that he was dealt.
He had 12 one score wins.
Yeah.
That's never happened before. So, like, you give him a B. You said a B?
I will say also, as a recent college graduate, I can tell you that a C is a passing grade. But what Patrick Mahomes did last year is not just a passing grade.
Yes. It's yeah.
He was better than passing.
He was better than I give him an A. He had an A season. Like, he loses number one receiver 3 games in, 2 games in.
It was
Third
in the
or
fourth
fourth
game.
game.
It was in the fourth game.
He loses number 2 receiver. He loses his starting running back. You know, Travis Kelce was on tour and stuff. You know, like, he had a lot of things he had to worry about. He didn't have a good left tackle. You know, the offensive line was a turnstile. We have a right tackle that keeps jumping off sides. You know, so, like, when people grade him, they're just looking at the numbers, and I think that is lazy. But I think a lot of sports media these days are lazy. You know, Chris Canty, I believe it's ESPN, he said he's willing to consider other quarterbacks as number one if Mahomes has another down season. And I don't think Mahomes had a down season. I think the Chiefs' offense had a down season. Mahomes brought them to the Super Bowl. So, you know, like, I still think the margin, the space between Patrick Mahomes and all the other quarterbacks are far. I don't think he has not a colleague, what's the word? I don't think he has a
Adversary,
yes. Like, you know, it's Patrick Mahomes and everybody else, you know. So, like, I've seen a lot of quarterback rankings lists, and some of them have Joe Burrow number 1.
Those people need to be drug tested immediately.
They should be drug tested immediately, but what they go by is Joe Burrow's 3-1 against Patrick Mahomes. But people forget that, you know, what year was it when the Bengals beat the Chiefs?
In 2021.
2021. Chiefs won 2 Super Bowls since then, and they're still
Been to a
hinging on
third.
that moment. Been to a third, and they're still hinging on that. And if the NFL didn't cheat for Tom Brady or Dee Ford, you know, we'd have more. Some people say Lamar Jackson, and in the biggest moments, he shrinks. You know, his best skill set, which is the, you know, running and improvising. Last game of the season, when all the marbles are on the table, he doesn't make it happen.
He folds like a lawn chair.
Like a lawn chair, picnic table. He folds. Josh Allen. I'm a big fan of Josh Allen, and the losses, I don't think they were his fault, but sometimes that's just how it be. Ask the people that played in the era with Michael Jordan. Ask Charles Barkley. He didn't get him a ring, and it's not because he was a bum. It's because Michael Jordan was there, you know? Just like, yeah. So what do you guys think about if Mahomes has another year like this year? Would that be time to put a quarterback in front of him as the QB1?
No. And it's
I don't like that you're thinking about it, Darcy.
I'm
thinking of an answer.
Mahomes is he still has that capability. You give him you give anybody with rocks for hands, and he's still going to make good plays.
Yes.
He has that ability. He reads the field. He knows what to do, but he can't make you catch the ball.
Well,
And
but if you don't catch the ball, he'll like make a play. Like that last year was almost his best season in my opinion, because he had to make things happen.
but you also got to understand, defenses are going to figure out.
That's not what happened though.
It
They haven't figured out Patrick Mahomes. If they figured out Patrick Mahomes, we wouldn't have been in the Super Bowl last year.
Well,
It wouldn't have been a favorite.
The Eagles figured us out in the Super Bowl
No,
really quick.
No. The Eagles figured out we have like the trenches. Their trenches is what the weakness for the Chiefs was, and the Eagles were able to exploit that. And Chiefs came in with a bad game plan. I still don't understand that.
Okay, well, he was 7th in passing yards in 2024,
Yep.
9th in passing touchdowns, and 8th in QBR, which is kind of a made-up stat. But I feel like, to answer the question, is Patrick Mahomes still the best quarterback in football? Yes.
Yes. What are you about to say now?
The past 2 seasons, statistically, have not been the level of Patrick Mahomes football that we've come to expect.
Why?
And it's been due to some other circumstances outside of his control, like injuries.
Yes.
But injuries happen. And the offense has gotten stale. The offense was bad last year.
I mean,
Whether it was his fault entirely, that's up for debate. It's definitely not all his fault. If something's bad, it's never one person's fault. But it was bad last year, and it wasn't great in 2023. They still were able to find a way to win a Super Bowl.
they didn't have They didn't have receivers.
Yes, obviously.
So we got to a Super Bowl, and he didn't
They
have
won it.
receivers.
They
and
won it.
And they won. So, like, I don't know how well, I know how, because once again, we're in the 24/7 news cycle. And, you have to have hot takes, and you have to throw things out there, and, what Chris Canty did is what a lot of people do when they're, trying to make sure their views are up and they want to be ahead of something. Because if Mahomes struggles this year, he wants to be able to go back to that clip and say, see, I called it.
And to play devil's advocate, because that's what we do on this show.
Yes.
If Patrick Mahomes goes out in 2025, after all of this noise, after all of this talk, after all of the conversation about the offense, and the offense struggles, and it is as bad as it was last year, and guess what? With the way football is and the margin for error being so thin, the Chiefs will probably not win 15 games, and so they're not going to get the 1 seed. It's going to look different if the offense isn't good.
Based on what? What you mean?
Points per game.
No, what if the offense isn't good, you don't think the Chiefs will win 15 games?
They won't.
Well, but they won a Super Bowl when the offense wasn't good.
Different year.
I mean, yeah, but, same coach.
They also lost
same
the Super Bowl
quarterback.
with the offense, the most recent version that we saw last year.
Yeah, it was New Orleans. I blame New Orleans. Somebody cursed them or
But what I'm saying
gave
is,
them the wrong game plan.
Did you just blame voodoo?
I blame voodoo,
if he
man.
goes out next year and looks the same that he did last year, I do think that you can argue if someone goes out there and is better, this is a better quarterback right now.
What you mean?
Like if let's say if Lamar Jackson goes out next year and balls out, and Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen goes and balls out next year, and Patrick Mahomes looks the same that he did last year, but with everybody healthy and then I think you can make an argument.
Then we can have that conversation.
And I'm not saying it's going to happen,
Yeah,
but you can argue it.
But I'm saying, like, then and only then you can have that conversation, because that conversation has not had to been brought up.
I think people need to differentiate the best regular season quarterback, the best postseason quarterback, and the best overall quarterback.
Well, but I think we can still do that and then say overall and still give it to Mahomes.
We can. And yeah, is there a QB out there that I would love to have on the team if Patrick Mahomes wasn't my quarterback? Yes, absolutely. Would I still take that same quarterback in the postseason? Absolutely not, because I've seen what Patrick Mahomes can do in the postseason.
I saw him win 12 one-score games, so I know what he does in the regular season too. So
he wasn't out there on defense, though.
well,
okay?
let me ask you guys this: what 3 things did Mahomes struggle with last year? If he struggled so bad, what are 3 things that we kept seeing him struggling on it?
Interceptions.
He did throw more interceptions than he had in a long time.
Well, yes, but once again, number one receiver gone, number two receiver gone.
But you asked what he struggled with.
Well, yeah, but what he struggled with is what any quarterback would struggle with if they're number one, number three, and they're starting running back. You know what I mean? Most teams, when that happens, their season's over.
All of his stats were down.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean he struggled. Look.
I mean, he definitely wasn't thriving.
Well, look, here's the thing, though. From 18 to 22, he was so good that now when he's just playing good and winning games, they're like, oh, he's lost a step. Like, no. He's getting better.
We're talking about the best of the best. We're talking about if he is the best quarterback in football, and he is.
Yes, he wins the eye test. He wins
he didn't win the eye test last year.
Yeah, everybody wants that 50-plus touchdown season.
Well, no, because it's cute, because it's sexy.
Yeah, it is.
He threw 26 passing touchdowns. 26.
Everybody wants anything less than 50. Oh, he's lost it.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a stat of quarterbacks that lost their number one receiver and starting running back. I'm not even going to say third receiver. I'm not going to say aging tight end, but just lost their number one receiver and their running back, and see what the history says that team has done. And and Mahomes is going to have a Hall of Fame season on it because he went to the Super Bowl. So yeah. So who's the number two quarterback? Is it Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson? Who would you say?
I would go Josh Allen.
What are we grading
as
it on?
Best quarterback. Like
who I'd rather
overall.
have?
If Mahomes struggles next year, who is that person that's going to step into that spot?
It's probably going to take someone beating him in the playoffs, honestly.
Yeah, it would have to be.
If Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson beats Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, oh man, that's when the offseason's not going to be so fun. Because if we think this conversation's silly funny now,
yeah, it would be a sobering moment. But I'm not. I actually like to be able to critique them a little bit more.
Here's the thing. It's probably going to happen. Patrick Mahomes is not going to go 20-0 against all of these quarterbacks in the AFC. It's just not going to happen.
But he might. His floor is losing in the AFC Championship game. He's played for 8 years.
But when Joe Burrow did beat Patrick Mahomes,
it's because he had an awful half.
But we heard the conversation. Is Patrick Mahomes, or is Joe Burrow better than Patrick Mahomes?
Have they figured him out?
Yeah, have they figured him out?
Yeah, man. It's like I said, we're in a 24-hour news cycle. We're in a hot take. We're in a that's greatness. Let's pick at it. So yeah, I think the Patrick Mahomes questioning is silly, but what do I know? Well, I know quite a bit, actually too much. We're going to go ahead and take a break. We need to take a break, right, Jay?
Yeah, let's take a break.
Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to talk about other Chiefs news. The KC Wolf retires. Will Tyreek Hill return? And we'll talk about the all-quarter century team a little bit. We'll be back after this. You are back in the Pocket Sports Radio 810 WHB, and we talked about the Royals. We talked about Patrick Mahomes and his struggling season, air quotes, of course. And now let's talk about some Chiefs news. There's not a lot happening, which is good, because last year we had a lot to talk about. You know, was that the year we had like 3 arrests? Because wasn't it?
I don't think 3.
No, it was 2 offensive linemen.
Oh, actually, yeah, there was.
Yes, and
there was some stuff that
else.
happened.
It was some stuff that happened last year, so we had a lot to talk about during the offseason that didn't have to do with football. It was real noisy. So this offseason is pretty quiet, which is good. But
knock on wood.
Yes,
we got 20 days until training camp.
20 days until training camp, and Tyreek Hill coming to the Chiefs would add some noise.
Now, I don't see that happening, but walk me through this scenario.
Oh, I don't know the scenario. I just know it's buzzing right now. Tyreek Hill asked for a trade after the season, and the Dolphins are kind of – I don't know what they're doing exactly. I really don't know what the Steelers are doing. I don't know. We'll get to that. But the Dolphins traded some players away, and people are expecting Tyreek Hill to be traded because he asked for a trade, and – he worked in Kansas City. He knows the offense for the most part. He knows the guys. And you guys are kind of both lukewarm on this, huh?
It's not going to happen.
Why you say that?
It is definitely
I don't think he's
going
to get traded.
You don't think he's going to get traded?
No, because I remember the way that last season ended, he had some very strong words to the media about Miami and the Dolphins.
Yeah, but that was just Tyreek being Tyreek.
Exactly.
The Chiefs didn't let him talk when he was
He's
here.
kind of walked it back a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Dolphins would trade him, and I definitely don't think the Chiefs would take on that money.
That is true.
What is his contract right now?
A lot.
Is it 28?
Oh, my goodness. Let's look up Tyreek Hill.
Contract. Let's see, $90 million. Oh, he did sign that big deal. 3 years. So average annual salary of $30 million. But if the Dolphins pay some of it.
His 2025 cap hit is $27.7 million, which is almost 10% of the Dolphins' entire cap.
Yeah, and he's not happy there. Ain't that's a bummer. So you guys thinking it's pretty much not going to happen?
It's not going to happen.
There's no chance.
No chance?
No chance. Zero.
You are not going to get 5 high-paid Chiefs players to take a pay cut just to bring Tyreek back for 8 games.
I will say, though.
8 games?
At that point, the Dolphins are either undefeated or they're 2-6.
No, it'd be an off-season trade. It wouldn't be like during the season. But if they start bad, it could happen during the season. So it could happen.
No. No, it's not. But it could happen after his contract's done. He might come back to Kansas City. That's still possible.
I guess that's possible. How many years do you have left?
3.
3 years? No, I think it's only 1 year left. Because he's been there for 2 years. Let's see, 2029?
Yeah.
Yeah, it hurts my eyes. But, all right. So, Tyreek Hill trade, y'all both say is pretty much not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
All right. So, yeah, KC Wolf retires. His name is Dan Mears. 10,000 total events, 38 states, 12 countries. And, that's how you know we have nothing else to talk about with the Chiefs. But how do you feel about the KC Wolf retire?
I shed a tear.
Did you?
No.
Oh.
I mean, I'm glad he had a great career. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I didn't know it was the same dude for 38 years, to be honest.
Did you know that he actually broke his back, falling from Arrowhead?
No.
Yeah, he did.
Like in the stands?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was practicing a zip line, and it didn't quite work out.
It didn't.
So he broke his back. And,
Wolf
he was
down.
But
Wolf down.
Dan Mears, great guy. When I was doing crowd security at Arrowhead, he'd be roaming around the stadium, and if I was at a checkpoint that nobody was authorized, I'd always have to rock paper scissors him, and he'd always beat me, so I'd let him in. But great guy.
Almost hit me with a 4-wheeler basically every week at work. But
you should have tried harder, Dan. No, I'm kidding. But no. The Wolf is not going to be the same. Like whoever steps into those.
Well, they're
giant
talking about bringing war paint back, right?
No.
No,
I think
That's
that's
just a rumor?
I don't know where you heard that. Not gonna happen.
unless it's a guy
They
in
feel
a
like
horse
tearing up
costume, you know.
But they feel like tearing up
Also,
the field again.
maybe this is incredibly insensitive.
Okay, do it. Let's do it. Michael Darcy, go ahead and say it.
How on earth you can say no one can ever be that fake wolf like you?
Well,
Someone can.
Hey, this is supposed to be a tribute.
Yeah,
This is
listen,
supposed to be a
he had a
tribute.
great career. 35 years is incredible.
38.
38.
Don't
My
take
bad.
his years. Yeah, I
Someone
think
else
it's
can
38.
step in that suit and do just fine.
No, I think so too. But not just anybody. When you was a kid, did you ever go to Chuck E. Cheese?
I did.
Do you remember how big and hefty Chuck E. used to be? It looked like looked like he was probably Dan Mears of Chuck E. Cheese. But now you go, it's usually like a skinny, scrawny kid. Looks like he's on Ozempic or something. So like, you can tell.
Walking
You'll be able
around
to tell the difference.
walking around trying to be a giant mechanical rat and an NFL mascot who has certain mannerisms.
It's only a little
And-
different, Jay.
Okay,
It's only a little
it
different.
is apples and oranges.
Both fruits.
No, it's oranges and tangerines is what it is. It's almost the same thing. It's just different levels of it.
Almost only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and thermonuclear warfare.
Fair.
Congrats on retirement. Fantastic.
Congrats on retirement. And
Would you do that job?
Darcy's bitter, like he's gonna have to do it next year.
I would do it when I was 17. I don't know if I would.
So are you implying that you almost like grow out of it?
I'm not. Hey, you are trying to put words in my mouth. But like,
Imagine going to like
coming home,
coming home. Oh, rough day.
rough day. at
Chiefs
work.
lost.
Yeah,
A kid bit me.
but during the week he was a hustler though. He did weddings. He did bar mitzvahs. He did a whole bunch of little events. What other events could he do? Birthday parties.
Imagine a 60-hour week in the wolf suit.
He could probably take.
That thing would
heat
probably
very
stink.
Well. It has to stink. Do you think it's the same suit, or they've had like a few? There has to be a few.
For
right?
his health, I hope it's a different suit.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've seen him have his little costume changes, yeah.
Well, they
they've got
have
different-
multiple.
Yeah, they have different.
They also have multiple KC Wolves. He was just the OG, the original.
Well, see, but so that's blanking me up a little bit because that's the whole time they were like he's been doing it for 38 years. I was like, I didn't know it was one dude. So you think he has a? You think
They've
he's-
got understudies.
So you think that he was tagging out and tagging in? That's what you're telling me?
Oh,
right
he
now?
only did the big stuff at a certain point. You think that the guy that's been doing it for 38 years is going to go do some
Oh, yeah, I guess.
random birthday party on the...
No, that's what he did because that's him.
Brand new Walmart welcomes Casey Wolf and just some,
We need you at this McDonald's in Westport. Go.
Hey man, y'all know how this hustle gig is, man. You gotta go where the money is.
But if you're Dan Mears and been doing this for 38 years, you are not going, out unless you.
I know people in the radio business doing it for 38 years and still hustling. So yeah, I don't think he loves what he does, and he said, I'm gonna do these events, and I'm a damn professional. He's a professional mascot.
just
Professional wolf.
Just give him his flowers.
I
and-
tried to, and y'all, I tried
don't-
to.
Hey,
get
I
away.
said congrats.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
All right.
I guess it's Darcy being the negative Nancy
Darcy's
here.
over there like, congrats, God. Anybody can take your place.
Yeah.
He's a wolf.
Man, this man has kids, probably. Let's see if he has kids.
What kind of investigative reporting are we doing here?
Yeah, I want to see because
When we talk about athletes going down to injury, we go, oh, the next guy can replace him. This guy goes around in a wolf suit, and we're talking about he can't be replaced? You know how quickly someone's going to come in here and take my job?
Hopefully
Quick.
soon.
I mean, that,
It's probably going to be Dan.
Yeah, but no,
That would be a turn.
no, really though, he's got mannerisms. He's got certain wolf stuff that he does, and it's just gonna be
that's hilarious, Jay.
Yeah,
certain
I was
wolf
on your
things.
side.
certain wolf things.
I
that
was
he
on
does.
your side till you said he did certain wolf things. Like, is
No,
that,
but he has mannerisms. He has things that he does on the field that is just going to look weird with somebody else doing it. And
I
yes,
don't
you are
know.
going to be able to tell.
hey, I think anybody can.
There's probably some guys outside the stadium that are capable of doing it. If you offered them a warm suit in the cold winter, they'd do it for free.
So you're saying you don't think it's
Don't put those words.
you're saying
don't do that
you
to
don't
me.
Think it was you don't think it's I can't talk. You don't think it's a specific skill
No,
be a successful.
there's definitely a skill set needed to be a mascot.
I looked. And
I'm just saying that it's not like let's be real about what you're doing at the end of the day.
like, oh man,
Give Jay 4 hours of training and he can figure it out.
I mean, yeah,
4 hours might be a little
but,
much.
I was a tanker, okay? It's got to be an 8-hour block minimum.
But look, I read the story.
It's a business day.
I read the story because that's why I'm bringing it up here today.
I saw it on Instagram.
You saw it on Instagram?
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
I clicked on it. You didn't click on it. You just kept scrolling. But I clicked on it. But it was like, he started in '89. He was doing it for college. And he was like, this is inane. Okay.
You know who retired that we should actually be talking about? Adam Teicher. Adam Teicher just retired from ESPN.
That's fair.
Fantastic work. He was on the Zone earlier today. That's a
Yes,
guy
he was.
that put in a lot of work, respected journalist.
Yeah.
And
I'm
now
not- I'm not-
somebody's going to take his job and do the same thing.
Guess
Congratulations.
we're not acting like he got.
Enjoy your
I guess that
retirement.
is true. We didn't say who's going to take Adam's job. Who's going to be the new journalist? We did say who's going to be the next Casey Wolf.
Reanimate Stuart Scott and bring him back.
Stuart Scott.
He wouldn't do it.
He's dead.
Well, yeah, but you talking about putting him in the
I said reanimate him.
and put him in the suit? We're
There's
off
got to
the
be better
rails here.
purposes for him.
Yeah, like somebody bring Stuart Scott back
And
to
put him in Casey Wolf.
put him in Casey Wolf. Boom.
I'll tell you what, it'd be fantastic. If they have open tryouts for Casey Wolf, we should do that for the show.
We both should go try
Yes.
it out. We should do that and film it. I'll have a camera guy. Have
That'd be
Paige come.
fantastic.
But I'm sure it has to be more of a, you probably have to have college experience or something.
For a mascot?
Hey,
Go ahead and find out.
yes.
Go ahead and find
I'll
out.
tell you what, that Indeed application is going to get filled out so quick.
Well, but you get there and then it'll be like, I don't think you're qualified. You don't know, like.
Oh, wait, you're Michael Darcy? You said bad things about Dan Mears? Get your ass out the suit.
Well, but don't you, they have to have, just like in football, if you play offense, you have to know what the 1 hole is, the 2 hole is, the.
Actually, if we think about this realistically, there's probably some guy that was like always second fiddle to Dan, and now that Dan's gone, he's like the guy. He's Casey Wolf now. It's probably like a great day for him.
Yeah, he's 18.
To everyone else, you're just a guy in a suit.
When I get out to the stadium, I'm going to find out what exactly one has to do to get for Casey
We're going to
Wolf.
look it up now.
All right? And then Darcy's going to be out there and be like, I can do this. And we're going to see if he makes the cut.
I'll tell you what, there was
Casey's got talent.
the
Let's do it.
mascot for the Kansas City Monarchs. His name is Monty, and he's a baseball head. Actually, he just graduated.
So disrespectfully.
He just graduated from KU, or he's going to be. But we interned there at the same time, and I seriously asked him the question, like, "So you wanted to do this?" I was like, "No," and he goes, "Yeah, I really wanted to do it." I was like, "If you want to sit in this hot baseball suit in the 95-degree weather and hug some kid that's trying to beat the crap out of you,
trying to knock you,
trying to knock your baseball hat off." Different breed.
But if he was searching for it, that mean in high school he probably did some mascotting. So I'm not gonna fully disrespect the mascot because I'm sure it has to be a skill set, and you have to. It's
Well, also
mascot life.
to disrespect the mascot even a little bit more, outside of who it is, can we just all agree that Casey Wolf is a horrible mascot? We're the Kansas City
Take it
Chiefs.
to a different level.
We're the Kansas City Chiefs. Why are we a wolf?
Why? Are
Now
we
I
the
do
wolf?
know we kind of had some, retiring of some mascots and changing some things around. Why are we a wolf? It doesn't make any sense.
Because the wolf is a Native American.
They had
you
to
know,
do it quick. Is it? No,
Yes.
it ain't. A wolf isn't Native American.
I
What
don't.
do you mean?
But I think they're kind of trying to get away from that. I don't.
Yeah, that's true.
From.
They're trying to take away the tomahawk chalk, or what's it called?
The tomahawk chop.
What did I say?
You said like tomahawk chalk,
Okay.
which is rock chalk.
The wolf
We're talking
is
about-
sacred in Native American culture.
I'm sorry. The goofy looking thing that Dan Mears was in didn't look so sacred.
It didn't look sacred.
But that's why,
Why
it's
not
a
a
wolf.
buffalo?
That's why it's a wolf.
Why not a buffalo?
That's why it's a wolf.
Why not a buffalo?
That's a wolf. I don't
They
want
already
this
got
to be
one of
funny.
those.
Yeah.
What's that?
The
Salvador
Buffalo
Perez?
Bills.
Oh. a hefty lad, man. That was your fault. You brought it here.
Salvador Perez just took an unnecessary shot.
He got some shrapnel. He got some shrapnel a little bit. To apply for Casey Wolf, you can fill out the form on the website or submit photos or videos you have with Casey Wolf for a chance to be featured. Dan Mears. Okay, I've ruined the wrong.
If Dan Mears is picking the next guy, I don't have a shot.
If I do something for 38 years.
But you said it was easy to do.
No, but if I do.
Oh, no, there's bias. He doesn't want someone that's actively talking crap on him to take his job.
That's true.
It'd be like me taking over for Sky Moore.
But if I did something, Jesus, Sky Moore just ding. He just. But if I did something for 38 years, I think I deserve some say-so into who's next. His son should probably be pushed into the role. The family business of, man, I'm off of it.
The family wolf.
Yeah, you come from a long line of Casey Wolves.
This is your father's suit.
Your father's, like the samurai. Be like, this was your father's armor.
I'll tell you what, he put his blood, sweat, and tears into that job. He almost died.
He did almost die. I wonder how long did he take off? I wonder if he was one of those guys that like, no, I don't need 6 weeks.
My back's broken in half, but
I'm going to play hurt.
They need me.
We went off the rails again a little bit. But,
just a little bit.
But that is the Casey Wolf tribute.
Congrats, Dan.
Congrats. There it is. You have applause back there? All right. Jay, yeah, okay. I won't.
I'm doing something for research. I'm taking notes for sound effects.
Jay is going to be applying for Casey Wolf.
I already got a job on the sidelines, and people cheer when I come out. So right there.
Imagine if you were the Wolf, though. They'd lose their mind.
They would lose their mind. It'd probably.
Which actually, to kind of give him some more credit, I think you have to be pretty tall to be Casey Wolf. I think you got to be like 6'5" or something. Because
No.
it's a big suit.
No, it's just a big head.
No, it's a big suit.
I guess it is a big suit.
But then again,
But can't they just make it?
I was going to say, you can make it a little smaller.
I'm like, yeah, what? Hey, no, you or you. Yeah, it's not an astronaut. You don't have to be a certain height because they make one size fit all.
Yeah, I don't know. I did not think we'd spend this amount of time talking about Casey Wolf, but
I didn't expect it.
turned out
either.
great.
It turned out fun. To apply for the Casey Wolf mascot position with the Kansas City Chiefs, you can complete your application on Teamwork and then apply on the Chiefs recruiting system. The Casey Wolf mascot has been bringing energy and excitement to audience of all ages since 1989. So you disrespect that, man. Yeah, you can't disrespect
Sorry I'm not
it.
8 years old. And don't cry tears when I see a wolf.
Oh, Lord. Oh, man. Y'all are not going to believe it. Come on, load up.
Uh-oh.
On Glassdoor. Oh, it expired. On Glassdoor, Casey Wolf seasonal assistant. This is from February 27, 2024.
Imagine being the guy that has to go around with the wolf in normal clothes.
The Kansas City Chiefs are currently seeking a highly motivated, energetic, and talented individual to serve as the Casey Wolf mascot seasonal assistant during 24-25 season. So that was last year. The ideal candidate would have experience performing as a mascot. What'd I tell you? I told you have to have some experience. Possess excellent nonverbal communication skills. I tried to read it with a straight face. Athletically and physically fit.
You tell me I gotta be in shape to do this?
You gotta be a professional. And have a creative and humorous personality.
All of this to say, hey, kids, stop hitting Casey. Stop hitting the wolf.
Oh, man.
Jay just now found the clapping sound effects.
There's a lot of buttons back here, damn it.
10 years later. But look, I want y'all to see this, though. This is serious, Darcy. That's what I need you to understand. Look at this. These are all the requirements of that position. So, yeah, this ain't no willy-nilly.
All that for $20 an hour.
What? Competencies. Competency. I can't talk. Competencies.
Wolf got you choked.
Qualified candidates must possess superior organizational skills and be able. now he's just playing.
Now he's going crazy.
Now he's gone crazy. Superior organizational skills and be able to function in fast-paced, multitask setting. Individuals must possess excellent oral and written communication skills.
What are you writing?
Man, you may have to communicate. You gotta
With what
job can you do you can't
pantomiming?
write? What job can you do and you can't write? Because if we had to say, hey, section A, B, they want a hot dog. I don't know, man. You gotta what job can you have and
You
you
gotta
can't?
write hot dog.
Well, what you gotta?
You actually this
you
is
do a
this is a
motion
job.
for it?
This is a job that you have to be great at not writing. You have to be great at saying things with the power of motion.
So you're saying this person should do that and not be trained in writing? So the mascot can just not be a writing mother sucker.
I mean, if he's good at his job, why does it matter?
Well, you're gonna have to sign your W-2, your I-8.
The bar is very low. If that's if that's the case, he's probably not even applying to the job online because he can't find it. He can't type it.
That's true. That's that's like physical requirements, light office duties and activities.
Imagine Casey Wolf doing some paperwork in the office.
Like them old ESPN commercials.
He's wearing the hat or he's wearing the helmet. What is it called? Wearing the head.
The head.
Yeah.
But I'm sure mascots have I'm sure they have a term for it. I'm like, hey.
Oh, there's definitely a club that I'm not getting into now.
Make sure you get entrenched. Or
Darcy.
you're not entrenched, man. What are you doing?
I'm gonna make this argument for you, okay? Now you can say what you want about mascots, all you want, but would you be the mascot if you could play in the mascots versus Pee Wee football player league?
Absolutely. Sign me.
do it?
Absolutely. Whatever mascot I gotta be, whether it's Slugger, Casey Wolf, I'll be Monty from the Monarchs. I'll be whatever.
Will you be what Hayden showed us earlier?
Just because you
the
want to
moon
tackle
ball?
kids?
The moon balls. Say what?
Just because you want to tackle kids?
Oh, just absolutely light up some Pee Wee football team? Yes.
No Diddy. Talking about lighting up kids. What are we talking about here? Why are we here? And why do I have the urge to
It's
keep reading the
Dan
requirements?
Mears' fault.
It is Dan Mears' fault. But why do I have the urge to want to keep reading this? Because there's so much stuff that essential accountabilities.
Imagine being the guy that goes in for an interview and gets through the first round, but you just don't make the cut on the second one.
Because they got to do at least 5 or 10.
There's also probably some qualifications that you need to make sure you're safe around kids.
That's true. It didn't say pass a background check.
Well, I got to be able to write, read,
Well,
office work.
You're not delivering food to anybody's house. You just...
You're going to like schools. You're going to hospitals.
Fair enough. All right, this is the last thing I'm going to read. Minimum qualifications, education, experience, knowledge, skills. Previous mascot experience. So you're out. You're not even qualified, Darcy.
They look at my resume and throw it out.
Exactly. Who's this guy? Ability to perform in the KC Wolf costume. Ability to travel around Kansas City area to attend community events. Positive individual who is punctual and who enjoys working with the public, especially kids.
Damn well that's not Darcy.
Especially kids. It's in parentheses. Qualified candidates must be reliable. Oh, I already read that. All right. Flexible schedule required. 40 hours per week, including all Sunday home games.
Hey, we need Casey Wolf to work 80 hours a week around the KC Metro. Anyone down? Oh, yeah. $18 an hour. Take it or leave it.
Well, that's your Chiefs news today, folks.
Congrats, Dan Mears.
Congrats, Dan Mears. Where's the... We need you, Jay. Oh, now... Comedy's all about timing, Jay.
You come here and push the buttons in.
I used to push the buttons, and I could push the buttons, and I could have went in there, pushed it, and came back before you did it. Just can't talk.
We need
today.
Dan Mears to produce this show.
I'm sure he's over. Never mind. I'm done. Hey, shout out to Dan Mears.
You can lead a wolf to water, but you can't make him drink.
We're going to break on that. It felt like I want to talk about more KC Wolf because it was fun. But I'm going to see how we can get in there and apply and at least go
listen,
through the...
whether I'm working at it or not, I'm putting that wolf suit on.
You know what? It'd be crazy because we'd have to sit in a room and say there's probably 10 of us in there and we're all waiting to go in there to interview.
I'll tell you what, if this show gets enough traction, I'll come in and do a show with the wolf helmet on.
Where are you going to get a wolf helmet?
Oh, eBay.
Fair enough. Like an official one or what
Yeah,
somebody
why not?
makes in their basement? It's going to be like Temu.
Let me look it up. I'm sure I can find something.
You think you're KC Wolf, you're going to KC Puppy or Paw Patrol.
Casey Wolf
He gonna
helmet.
get a Paw Patrol helmet. We need to go to break, right?
Yeah, let's go to break.
All right. You looked that up. What'd you see? Did you see it?
No, Dan Mears has a book called Wolves Can't Fly.
We was almost out of here.
It's $6 on It's signed. It's signed for $6 on eBay.
Oh my God, $6?
Yeah.
Well, that's eBay. That's secondhand. So how much is it retail?
He got a 4 by Tony Dungy.
He got a.
We need to go to break.
Wait, this wasn't supposed to be this. It was not supposed. It was supposed to be an homage. And how much is the book retail?
We'll figure it out after the break.
All right, we'll be back after this. No, hold on. We can't come back still talking about the KC Wolf. Yes, we can. We'll be back after this.
Will the real Casey Wolf please stand up?
We are back in the pocket on Sports Radio 810 WHB. And yes, will the real KC Wolf please stand up? Because he left. So we need another one to stand up, like literally.
I'll tell you what. I just looked it up. His book on Amazon.
Hold on.
Oh.
Can you have a more respectful tone?
Yes. Sorry.
Because you had a pretty sarcastic tone.
Dan Mears' book on Amazon titled Wolves Can't Fly, Casey Wolf, Faith, Family, and Fur.
Oh, my God. That is
for sale for $13 on Amazon, meaning that the copy of his signed book on eBay goes for less. So him signing it makes the copy worth less.
That's what you're doing? Well,
in fact, not only is it less, it is half off with him signing it.
Well, but that's a used book. Somebody's grubby fingers, and somebody's read that probably 100 times already.
Some wolf fanatic read it, I'll tell you that.
What is the dude that was robbing the banks probably financed it? Wolves Can't Fly. When did that book come out?
It came out in, I don't know. Oh, you know what? In 2006, he was inducted into the Mascot Hall of Fame. So what do I do? He's a Hall of Famer.
I'm
just some kid sitting in a radio station
exactly
talking badly about his life.
And he's a whole Hall of Famer.
Kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal. He's a whole Hall of Famer. And you
Listen, 38 years. Fantastic. It's a noble profession for some.
For some.
I just wouldn't want to do it.
I mean,
And I think it's a little weird.
Weird. See, now you're coming at his character.
No. He's not weird. The job itself is a little interesting.
Well, but if you're not weird and you do weird stuff, that eventually makes you weird.
Never met the guy.
Hey, Jay. I'm sorry to put you to work. Can you find some audio of Dan Mears talking, whether it's promoting his book or something? I want to hear how he talks, to hear if he has weird in his voice.
Yeah, let me get right on that.
Okay. Because, I think he's... What do you think his voice sounds like? You think he has a deep voice, squeaky voice?
Definitely not a deep voice. I can see him having a...
Because we've never heard
the
wolf talk.
No. 10 years ago, he did a story with KMBC, Dan Mears to return as Casey Wolf after injury, settlement.
We got paid.
I mean,
that's why he
falling
came
from
back.
the ceiling, falling from the rooftops at Arrowhead would probably make for a nice settlement.
Yeah, I wonder if he's married. You think she irons his wolf?
His wife recently
Dry cleans
passed
it.
away.
Oh my lord. Oh.
Oh man,
Oh. All right.
I don't even know what to say anymore.
No, now we gotta like.
Yeah, now I gotta walk
Shift.
all this back.
No, now we gotta like. Oh my. Oh. Let's switch gears. Let's switch gears. I think that's what we should do.
Congrats, Dan.
Yeah. Did you find something, Jay? Though, because
Yeah, I did.
I'm still on the bit. Play it. Yeah. Rest.
You know, I don't know if anybody starts off in life thinking, boy, I'd sure like to grow up to be a mascot someday. You know, like every other kid growing up, I thought I was going to be a professional baseball player. And then for a while, I wanted to be a dentist. And, you know, I had all kinds of different dreams. But after I graduated from college, the first job I got was as a professional mascot. You know, in college.
We don't
I
have to
didn't-
keep doing this, Jay. We're
Sounds like a wolf to me.
I am not proud of myself. I'm not proud of where we're at right now. Because he sounds, yeah. Sounds like
Stay off the damn weed.
All right, NFL news.
What about that Pittsburgh Steelers trade?
Yeah. So the Steelers traded Minka
Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, you struggled too there.
You both messed it up.
Yeah, you
Because I'm
go.
trying not to laugh
Minka
at you.
Fitzpatrick.
Why'd you say it like a housewife?
Minka!
Minka Fitzpatrick. What are you trying to prove that you know how to speak elegantly?
Minka Fitzpatrick.
I mean, yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. All right, Steelers traded Minka Fitzpatrick for Jonnu Smith and Jalen Ramsey. Jonnu Smith was a second year, and he had like a great season. He had a pretty good year.
He was a good tight end.
Yeah, he's a good tight end. And he was like, you know, I'm sure he was trying to get settled in. He's like, I've done enough to stay here, earn my spot, and then he gets traded. And Jalen Ramsey, so yeah, Jonnu Smith and Jalen Ramsey for Minka Fitzpatrick. And it feels like a lateral move for the most part for as far as the Dolphins. I don't know what they get out of it. Minka had an off season last year. You know, like he wasn't as good. He was kind of injured. His last great season was in 2023. But you know what? He's a leader. He's a great guy. He's a guy that you don't have to worry about.
Have you talked to many Steelers fans? Because they are like, good, bye. They're like Darcy when they heard Dan News was retired. They're like, adios, bye. Nobody cares.
Well, the Steelers fans are deflecting. If they're happy Minka Fitzpatrick is leaving, they're deflecting because there's other issues with the Steelers. You know what I mean?
Well, I had to look it up. The reason that the Steelers made this trade, or the Dolphins made this trade with the Steelers, is because the Steelers are taking all, or nearly all, of Jalen Ramsey's cap hit.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense for them to kind of move on from Minka, who has kind of been dipping in production, but
For a year.
well, for a couple years now.
Year and a half. He got hurt.
But he didn't want to be in Miami back when Brian Flores was the head coach. So it's kind of like, what are they really doing?
Yeah, they had him playing in corner and playing. He wanted to play one position, and the Steelers kind of let him do that. But Jalen Ramsey, is he's high maintenance. You know what I mean? You're gonna hear him. Do you remember when he played? Yeah, when he was ready to get paid for the Jaguars. You know, he showed up to camp with a Brinks truck. You know, he's had a few tussles. Odell Beckham. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know what the Steelers are doing. Jonnu Smith getting him, that's good. But as far as, you know, taking away a leader and bringing in Jalen Ramsey, who is kind of like willy-nilly, you know.
See, I don't even necessarily know if it's like, what are the Steelers doing? I think it's just kind of a situation where both teams made almost a lateral move. Like, this isn't going to change or move the needle at all. Like, both teams are 9-8 football teams.
Don't tell that to their fans. Well, no, the Steelers legit are 9-8.
I'll tell it to their fans. They're both going to be 9-8 football teams.
Yeah, but Tua could strike gold again. Tyreek could have enough.
Steven, take it away.
This is a real
Stay
disrespect.
off the damn weed.
This isn't a nice show. We haven't been real nice to people today, but I'm fine with it.
After the credits roll, we go fist fight in the parking lot. It's gonna be great.
So Steelers are paying all that money for Jalen Ramsey, and they're gonna have to pay Jonnu Smith. T.J. Watt still has to get paid. So like organizationally, it seems real Browns-ish. It seems real New York Jets-ish.
They also have Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, so it's
oh my
like,
God, I forgot. Yeah, so it could.
Which, by the way, there was a lot of people after this trade. They're like, "Oh, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're real contenders in the AFC." I think they're just about the same, and that's a 9-8 football team. Who is watching this trade go down and being like, "Oh man, now this Steelers team is legit"?
The diest of die-hard fans. Okay,
He had to be from Milwaukee. Yeah. Where is Pittsburgh?
Pennsylvania.
Wow. I was thinking of the Packers, all right? So take it easy with your faces. Do we have to take another break before we get out of here?
No, our last break is our outro.
That was a lot of words for just like, nah, but all right. All right, that's cool.
I got to spell things out for you.
Well,
You'll be like, how many breaks we got? None.
hey,
So how many is that?
I'm no KC Wolf, okay? All right. Darren Waller unretires and he signs with who'd he sign with?
He was traded.
I mean, yeah, he was retired. He did that Gronk
The
thing.
Giants had to trade him to the Dolphins. He was at the Dolphins, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, they replaced Jonnu Smith with him.
Which, no. Like, that was a horrible idea.
Organizational malfeasance is what and I'm sure I said that word wrong.
No, you said it right.
Actually said it right.
I said it right? All right.
That's
Don't
why
doubt
I'm
yourself.
I'm back here with this look on my face like, he did it.
Hey,
like-
y'all take it easy.
Normal words like cat and dog, they just mess you right up. But you're like, malfeasance. like that's your middle
I'm a
name.
wordsmith. I'm a wordsmith, okay? That's what I am. And believe that. We didn't even do hip poops today.
We do
I
it
mean,
quick.
we got time. We got time to do it poops. Speaking of it poops, my dog apparently has an upset stomach. My wife is texting me. She's like, took her out again. I took her out again. I took her out. She's like 4 times since the show started.
Is it your
It
dog
does
or
poop.
Is it your dog or y'all dog?
My dog.
Okay, so that's why you're getting the text messages.
Well, no, she's had a bit of a upset stomach, and she's
So it's
yeah. So it's,
You have a big dog too, huh?
yeah.
Yuck.
Yeah, I have my big ferocious guard dog.
Think Casey Wolf ever pooped in the suit?
38 years, he's had an upset stomach.
I was gonna say there had to be one game day where that chili dog didn't sit.
Jack up!
Oh, look at Jay out back there.
Like a kid in the candy store.
Kid in the candy store. What are we talking about? All right.
Darren Waller's rap career.
He was rapping?
If that's what you want to call
He
it.
unretired from being a rapper, and now he's back in the league.
There's not a lot of news, all right, fellas. It's not a lot. NBA, we don't even have time to talk NBA. You got some mid poops?
In the pocket or out of the pocket, the Chiefs offense will be a top 3 offense in the NFL.
Top 3 offense. All right, let me think of the offenses. Cincinnati, they put a lot of money in their offense. Joe Burrow supposed to be all right. Josh Allen, the Bills, they're supposed to be pretty good. Washington's offense could take a step forward. Top 3, Patrick Mahomes. Oh, our receiver room look good. We have 2 left tackles, or at least 1.5. Our defense is good. I say top 5. I believe top 3, but I'm fine with top 5. But
So it's in the pocket?
in the pocket.
Oh, as I say top 5 or top 3? I said top 3. So that would be
Top
out of the
3.
pocket.
So, but I'm not out of the. I'm
So
halfway.
you're hanging it?
I'm hanging out, halfway in the pocket, halfway out.
You know what? I'll say in the pocket.
I'm gonna say out of pocket.
So if not 3rd, where do you think they land? They were 7th this year.
Highest 6. I put him
Wow.
at 6. I put him at
Yeah,
6.
you're really going out on a limb there, huh?
Yeah. Because I don't think that the receiving core. I mean, it's more improved.
The best receiving core we've had since.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
I don't even remember what year it was, but it was good. But no, I think the early on, it's going to take a while for the receivers and QB1 to get in that rhythm, get into that synergy, if you want to call it that. And I think it's going to take a few games longer than expected. and it might hurt us in the beginning. I think we start off not slow, but we're not coming out of the gate jumping hurdles. But we pick it up at the end of the year, so I'm going to say out of pocket.
All right, it was a long answer, but
You asked.
no, it was just a long answer.
Explain yourself. I explained myself. That's a
No,
lot
I
of
said
words.
if not third, what number? And then you
And
started
then
singing the Spangled Banner. You know,
I said 6.
I pledge
What?
allegiance
Huh?
to the.
What? What you mean?
Shador Sanders, in the pocket or out of pocket, Shador Sanders has a better career than Bo Nix.
Out of pocket.
Out of pocket.
All right, Shador Sanders better career than Zach Wilson.
That's not a high heart. That's not a high bar.
The bar is low.
Yeah, that is a pretty
Fifth round draft pick.
Are we talking like the stats and the
Like-
after hours banging dudes' moms thing, or are we just on the field?
Jay, take whatever you want into
Take-
account.
Yeah, like I don't even know what we're doing anymore. Like, you know what? I'll say I appreciate it. Usually you pull things off the rails 6 minutes in. So, yeah, we only got 8 minutes left. I don't even.
So would you say that a quarterback banging dudes' moms makes him better?
Is that in your evaluation?
Honestly, do you remember anything about
QBR,
Zach?
banging dudes' moms, and passing yards.
Do you remember
Hand
anything
size.
about it? Do you remember? Do you know any Zach?
Oh, I know the lore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know any of his career stats? Could you pull them off the top of his head?
I
No.
don't.
But whenever you hear the name Zach Wilson, oh yeah, he was banging dudes' moms.
Well, it's not.
There's a similar thing that you think about when. Well, no.
Well, what are you doing? Where are we going? Go ahead, do it.
No.
do it. We've been all.
Well, I was
over
gonna
the
say like you don't normally think like Mike Vick quarterback first.
Oh my God. oh boy. Or Deshaun Watson, quarterback.
Yeah, you
first.
don't think quarterback first.
Or Justin Tucker. Oh boy. I can identify when this went off the rails. Casey Wolf.
It's all Dan Mears' fault.
It's all Dan Mears' fault. And then yeah. What are we talking about here?
So what would you rate Zach Wilson?
I don't even. Yeah. What would you rate?
Is it in the pocket or out of the pocket?
I already said out of pocket.
Yeah, and like, all right.
I'd say it's in the pocket that he's better than Zach Wilson.
But does he have a better career?
Like I said,
Zach Wilson started. He had 2 seasons where he was starting.
Yeah, but just because he started a lot of games doesn't mean that he was good.
No, but it means he can say, hey, I was in the league.
Yeah.
So
Shadur's name will keep him starting for at least a year.
I think
or two.
Shadur's name is gonna work the opposite way, to be completely honest, as it has. See ya. Jay, throw one out there. Just do it. Just throw that poop out there.
Aaron Rodgers doesn't make it through the season.
Is it a threat? Like, what are you gonna do to him? Like,
That does sound like a threat.
Aaron Rodgers, you're not gonna see Week 9. No, I don't think he makes it through the season.
So I think for the
as in like
Steelers-
injury, he's so bad. He's doing
Combination.
recreational drugs in the forest.
There are no forests in Pittsburgh. Well, yeah, there is. There's
It's got to be a
He could
forest.
find one.
He can find one. He'll find one.
Yeah, but-
he wouldn't go there if it wasn't a dark place. But
There's a submarine port on one of the rivers, so you can go and hit.
is it submarine port?
Yes.
Like what is it? Like those millionaires that went to go look at the Titanic?
No, actual submarines.
Oh, okay.
Are you saying that Aaron Rodgers is going to be on the submersive that goes to see the Titanic?
I'm sure Aaron Rodgers missed that trip. He was like, I was supposed to be on that one.
I got my Hiawatha or whatever you call it.
Hiawatha, and I can't talk.
I don't do drugs.
I think it's out of the pocket.
What was the question?
Is he going to complete the season?
Yeah, he does. He doesn't
Oh,
finish. the
okay.
season.
I think he out of the pocket. He'll complete.
No, I think it's boom or bust. I think it's awful and looks like the Jets, or they win a couple games in the playoffs.
Well,
I
he's
don't-
already said that this is probably going to be his last year.
We've been saying
So-
that for 8 years.
This is his last year. He signed a 1-year deal.
If he plays good, he don't know if he's good anymore. So if he plays good,
That just shows you that he's not very
That's why he went to the
self-reflective.
Jets. He was like, "Am I still good? Let's go to the Jets and find out." And his highlight for that first year was running out with the flagpole.
You know what? I was gonna watch Hard Knocks, and I remember watching Hard Knocks, and they were cheering. Him and Zach Wilson walking on the field, and Aaron Rodgers was doing this thing, and then he said, "You never seen that before, have you?" And I'm like, ugh, I hate this guy. Like, and I don't usually try to hate, but like, ugh.
It's like, you like that?
Yeah. Yes, hey, we got time for unlimited. I'm just in the mood for that. We had sound and all that. Unlimited.
Duval.
Duval. We just need to compile a whole bunch of sounds.
We do.
Yes.
And I'll
You'll do that next time.
Oh, do you think that do you think that Travis Hunter is going to play both corner and wide receiver?
Do I think he's going to be a switch hitter? Do I think he's going to play both sides? Top and bottom? Travis Hunter. I think they're going to try to play him on both sides because that's what he said. And the Jaguars are the Jaguars. It's like if the Royals drafted somebody that can hit and pitch.
Well, they did. Jack Caglione, but he's only hitting.
Caglione.
if you want to call it that. I mean,
That was not nice.
No,
It's
not.
true, but it was not nice.
that's for all that Dan Mears slander.
Well, he wasn't ready. They brought him up because they were desperate. They knew where the season was going. So he should have still been in some AAA.
They had that hot shot pitcher that came in and just lit it up that first game, and after that they were like, "Well, he's gonna have a big career in the big league," and they shipped him back down.
Who?
My God, you forgot about that already?
Who?
I even forgot his name. That's how bad it was.
Well,
I don't know who we're talking about.
I don't either. I've never known what's happening like 20 minutes in. We're just how much are we almost out of here?
We got about 3 minutes.
3 minutes. What are we gonna do in
About
this
2
3
minutes.
minutes? That's all I need.
2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes. That's perfect time.
We spent 38 minutes memorializing, Dan Mears. So
No. I spent 38 minutes memorializing. You spent 38 minutes trashing him.
I
Yeah.
don't think it was trash. That's all you said.
No. No, you basically said he didn't.
No.
You said his life isn't fulfilled.
No.
He's not a real man. Like you said something like no, that's what you implied.
No.
I take implications.
You're gonna look at me and you're gonna tell me that I'm wrong?
That has
That
been
worked.
this
Where'd
show.
you find that audio clip? What did you search to find that?
I
It's
like it.
right here.
I like it, Jay. I like it because that's exactly what I wanted to yell at him. I am Covell Hudson. You can Covell Hudson comedy on YouTube.
Our crown and she came down in a bubble, dog.
Covell Hudson comedy on YouTube. Darcy.
You guys can find me on YouTube at KC Sports Report. We talk Chiefs. Not a lot of Dan Mears. That's for the radio.
And we have Jay. But yeah, Covell Hudson comedy. Funnier than everybody. Okay. Hey, we can go overtime and have a little roast session here. We can do that.
We just did that for 38 minutes with Dan Mears.
Well, Jay would be the new Dan Mears. Like the target would be on him.
He might be because we're gonna apply it for him.
Yeah, back there with that red hoodie on, looking like, hey, yo, Kool-Aid.
I got-
All right,
Don't forget, I got 3. I got 2 rings.
You get a lot more as Casey Wolf too.
you'd have. This was a good time. And next week I can't say that we'll be more hinged.
Hopefully we're back.
Hopefully we're back. Have a good week. I don't even know how to leave everybody with this. We out.
Stay blessed.
Stay blessed. Stay black.